say? Her name is Faith.
My therapist asked me how I've been handling everything, and I said, I've just been taking it one are you fucking kidding me at a time. So, that's life.
Are you angry at Harriet Tubman?
No, why would I be?
Because Harriet Tubman was a conductor on the Underground Railroad, a spy for the Union Army, went into the Deep South, freed hundreds of enslaved people, but there's nothing on record about her helping those enslaved people get jobs after she freed them.
No, I'm angry at your hypocrisy.
But you're not angry at Harriet Tubman's hypocrisy.
I don't think she was a hypocrite. I think people who claim to be pro-life tend to not actually care about the health care of pregnant women and simply want to control them. So
how many pregnancy centers do pro-lifers operate across the country?
Why would I care about that information?
Because we offer free health care for pregnant women.
We operate about 3,000 pregnancy help centers and maternity homes across the country. There are fewer than 600 abortion facilities across the country. That was the website I cited at the beginning of my remarks, standingwithyou.org, that I finance and fundraise for at Students for Life, that any woman, any man across the country can actually go to that website, start an instant chat, put in the zip code if they don't want to talk to anybody, or call somebody and find public and private resources and support to help them during pregnancy and actually beyond pregnancy.
Per usual, we're coming in hot.
What the hell?
Let's blame Harriet Tubman for not creating justice. And I know we've all heard this argument because it started with BLM, the movement, where they're like, well, why doesn't BLM do this? Or why, there's just one. They always act as if there's just one.
Yeah.
Something for the Black community, ignoring the Urban League, ignoring the NAACP, ignoring Black Girl Magic Organization, ignoring all these grassroots organizations all over the place. And when she said, well, Harriet Tubman didn't find jobs for these people, when was she going to have time? When was she going to have time?
I don't. And again, we were talking about this earlier. It's like, you're going to vote for a cop when it comes to Kamala. And it's like, she's not a cop. Stop that. And name me one viable candidate over the past 50 years that hasn't had a background in either legal or law enforcement.
And here's the thing. And I say this a lot, and I mean this, and I like I say, use me as a starting point for research. There are certain people today that understand historically what politicians tend to do. They tend to beef up their resumes. Now, they don't usually stay in these positions for very long. Nikki Haley. Have been attorneys, have been all of these things. And I'm like, why do you want to put the onus of an entire office on one person? Because even if you didn't understand the judicial system and all you ever saw in your life was Law and Order.
Okay.
Even then, they're different DAs.
Yeah.
You know that in the Attorney General's office, there's different attorney generals. We have watched special counsels be assigned. We have watched, just like with Bonnie Willis. She's not always in court. She's not even the person that's going to be literally prosecuting the Fulton County case. We watched in New York, in Manhattan, Letitia James did not argue the case. It came from her office. And there's levels. There's certain things that, yes, you have to go to the tippy top and get them to sign off on. There are other things that they don't. They're hiring you on your merit, on your resume, that you don't need to be micromanaged. And I need people to realize when people step into a job, it kind of reminds me of way back when I worked at a hospital, when I worked in mammography with the films and everything. I implemented a system so that everybody wouldn't be scrambling on top of each other. Right. Where each of us would have different jobs and there were different slots that would have our assignments in it. I would come in on Monday. The slot would be filled. We haven't had mail yet. We haven't had anything. That means the person who had my job the week before didn't do anything. My boss would come in and yell at me. First of all, ma'am, think critically. If mail hasn't come in yet and we're just now clocking in, how is this full and everything else is in? That means the person before me didn't do it. And we need to start looking at dates. We have gotten so comfortable in this whole Trump era of erasing dates. This is why we have people still blaming Obama for stuff. We even have people blaming Michelle Obama for stuff, and she hasn't held office.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm so, first of all, it really irked me when it was the thousands and thousands of people she put in prison for pot, right? Thousands on thousands. It's 42. It's 42. And it first came out as thousands and thousands of black men she put in prison for pot. We don't know the race or gender of those 42 people. And it's 42, not thousands and thousands. And now it's she extended people's sentence in order to maximize the prison labor, the slave labor.
That was the person.
I want to see the number.
That was the person who was before her that went on to become governor while she was attorney general. It was a man.
Okay. And like I said, I want to see why are we saying this again? Because we're not doing this to other candidates, right? We're doing this to her, and there's a reason. Now, when a leftist says to me that the United States is failing, and I don't want to prolong its failure, it needs to fail. It's time for it to fail. I think that's a very privileged thing to say. I agree. I understand. But at my core, I'm an accelerationist. I'm a set a match to it. Let's burn it down and start over. I'm white and middle class. I'm very privileged in having that as my individual, but I realize that I'm not the one that's going to pay.
Mm-hmm. And let me say this, because there are a lot of white people that are finally waking up to the fact that racism and misogyny will catch you in its snare. Mm-hmm. You will be caught in the trap, okay? And the top 1% doesn't think. We're going to come back to the fact that they don't think in a minute. But I'm going to need white people, pay attention to me. I'm going to need y'all to stop going, well, it's going to affect the white community too. I'm white. It's going to affect me, baby. We know that. We know that. This is why we're sitting back cool, calm, and collected while you're losing your shit. This has been happening to us for generations. We've been trying to teach you how to deal with it and how to combat it, and you didn't want to. Now it's knocking on your door and kicking at the door at the same time. And now you're realizing just how marginalized you are as well. And circling back to the top 1% doesn't think, go with me here, because they don't. They want to keep increasing things to increase what's in their pocket, increase what they can lead to their children, et cetera, even though they don't even like their children. But here's the thing, where are you going to find that staff for the upkeep of your yacht?
Yep. They're destroying they're going to make it unsustainable for themselves.
But here's the thing, where are you going to spend that money? You like to go buy trinkets. Who's going to make those trinkets? You like to have the designer clothes. Who's going to make those designer clothes? Because when you kill off the rest of us, or you make the rest of us homeless and jobless, where are you going to get it from? Because you can't survive without the rest of us. You don't know how anymore. You don't. You couldn't iron a shirt, let alone boil water. What are you going to do?
Yep. They're going to make it unsustainable for themselves as well, right? And there's a couple of billionaires that can't. Prince, I think is his name. He's still a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong, but he did a talk once about talking to other billionaires about that very thing, right? Of course, then all the middle class white people came out and went, look, it's not all billionaires. Yeah, it's all billionaires, bitch. Go look at the other things he said. He said this one thing right one time. Go listen to the other shit he said. But yeah, he talked about it's going to be unsustainable at some point.
My thing is the one and only billionaire I give a pass, and that's because their actions match up with their words, is Rihanna. Because Rihanna, and people have come out and given their testimony about her, has helped restaurant workers clean up. She's tipped initially. She's pulled people out of retirement. She's pulled the common person off Instagram like, oh, you need a job? I got you. Come work for me. I can give her a pass because I don't think she ever set out to be a millionaire. And I don't think anybody has told Rihanna that she's a billionaire. The woman is still acting like she's just your friend in high school, and oh, you need lunch? I got a little extra money. I'll buy you lunch. Like that's how she living her. I don't think she know that she's the. I don't think she knows.
And the one I don't give a pass to, but I wouldn't actively shove down the stairs is Mark Cuban.
Yeah. He has these moments, but I think Mark is more afraid of his kids than anybody else.
I think you're right.
I really think Mark's kids would cut the power in the house and whoop his ass. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah. But when he goes toe to toe with people about DEI and trying to explain to them what DEI actually is and why wouldn't you want your workforce to reflect the society you serve, I don't it's pretty impressive. But by the same token, he's still going to be worthless on the front lines. I don't care how much money.
And speaking of the whole DEI thing, I think it's so laughable that they keep calling Madam Harris a DEI hire. She has been the vice president for 3.5 years. She was on the winning ticket.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if she's DEI, then DEI is awesome, baby. Like she's qualified. You're proving the point that diversity, equity, and inclusion work. What is wrong with you?
Peppers is losing it. Trying to get my phone to quit vibrating.
He thinks I stole his cookie. I didn't steal your cookie.
You ate it, Peppers.
Here, you got one left. I didn't take it. It went under the blanket. You did that. Shoot. Beating me up like I'm not eating doggy cookies, you fat bastard. Y'all be thinking, oh, he's so cute. He's abusive. This is a toxic relationship. I told y'all he got Florida man energy and no job.
I'll give him that. He absolutely does.
And he ain't got no job. I'm paying to get my ass beat.
Megan came home the other day and Daisy had ate her cookbook. She was like, I was going to cook something out of that tonight.
Yeah,
DEI is a cuss word. Look, it's the new CRT, right? Hey, first of all, CRT was never taught in grade school or high school. It wasn't. It's a post-grad.
And the irony is,
or not theology.
Pro-patriot, pro-military idiots didn't realize that CRT was taught at West Point.
Yeah, but. In CRT is fine, but what they're saying when they say they're against CRT is they're against honest history.
Mm-hmm.
And just say that, right? Say your kids will figure out you've lied to them their entire life if you teach them the truth, and that's really what white people are afraid of.
Yeah, they watched what happened with David Duke and his son, because David Duke made the biggest mistake I think ever of his life.
They don't like their kids.
Yeah, when he told his son, oh, yeah, you can go off to that college and didn't research the college. And his son got on that campus, looked to the left, looked to the right, looked up and down, was like, I have been lied to. And that man admitted that the only way he got through college were all the people that his father told him were stupid, lazy, just want to steal from you. That's who tutored him through. That's who gave him tips and tricks on how to be broke and get through and not starve to death.
Yeah.
And side note, why do we have a culture of damn near dying in order to achieve success?
Oh,
I have broke college students where they're like, I get 1 pack of ramen a week. What?
Yeah. And it's some sort of badge of accomplishment, right? And me and Mr. Pam went round and round about that a couple of times, where he'd be like, well, we went through it. And it'll toughen them up. I'm like, no, they're not unappreciative. They're not wasteful. They're not. No.
And it's like everything is set up for you to generate generational wealth for somebody else. And all of this, we're a family. And this is why you have people in workplaces that think just because your coworkers, your friends, you are not my friend. Tell this to someone that I went to high school with, because she was upset. She got into a wreck and had to be hospitalized for a while. She came crying to me. Nobody came to see me. Girl, they work with you. They're not your friends.
Yeah.
I said, if I worked with you, I wouldn't have came to the hospital either. I said, I've known you for years and I barely
want my coworkers in the hospital seeing me. That's weird.
Like, first of all, I don't know why y'all want people at work to be in your personal business.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And I know some people criticize me, because yes, there are certain aspects of me I will share online. There are certain aspects outside of my friends y'all will never know. Like, there's parts of me, yeah, Pam knows, she's my friend.
Mhm.
Y'all don't know y'all business, and I don't want to know the intimate details of y'all life. Don't think that you're gonna build a bridge by getting in my DM. All you gonna do is get blocked from DMing me ever again. Okay. No, okay, I got the capacity for about 10 friends. Those slots have been filled.
Yep.
Sorry about your luck. Just keep it moving, okay? We can be associates online. That's where we're going. But I'm like, they put you into that and get you accustomed to the same rewards you had in school. Because I'm sorry, a pizza party was cool when I was in middle school and high school. It is not the same when I'm grown as hell, making money for you and working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Pay me my coin, okay? Don't sit here and tell me that we are one big family. I barely like the vast majority of my fucking family. We supposed to have a big old family photo shoot, and I still ain't saying shit in a group chat, okay? They don't know if I'm showing up or not. They don't know what's gonna go. I might pop up. I might be there for 2 minutes. I might not. I might book some tickets to hop, skip, jump the fuck out of town so they can't even come knock on my door. You gonna sit here and tell me that Mary Sue Ellen that sits 2 cubicles over from me is family? Okay, give me some. Then Mary Sue Ellen, give me part of that check, because in this family we help each other pay bills, and I don't want to pay all my bills this week. All right, and you want to pay me pennies on the dollar to do 3-4 people's jobs, but you got your second wife's third cousin's baby mama's mistress working in the office for $100K, and that bitch can barely tie her shoe to this day.
Robert's work sent him a snack box of all these snacks. They were all healthy snacks, like protein bars and shit. My husband is 300 pounds. Who was paying attention to this? Because he just kind of went, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't give me the same rewards as before. No, if you gonna treat me like I'm still in high school, where the field trips at?
Yeah, absolutely.
I need snow days.
Mm-hmm. we need track and field day. We need track and field day, but in the office, like we can roll each other around on chairs and shit.
See, I never had a track and field day when I was in school. But then I
did.
realized
The only ribbons I ever won were for tug of war because it was a team event.
Come on, I got a gluttonous dang dog.
My son went to the Pee Wee League Super Bowl.
My brothers did one. And things got
but hang on, because my son did it because his team sold more popcorn or whatever than anybody else. Had nothing to do. They lost every game.
Oh, I was gonna say we made the news because things got real racist.
No,
it got real racist real quick.
Oh, by the way, he got his
Negress is here. The Negress is here.
He got his DNA back, by the way.
He just took a DNA test, found out he's 100% that dude. Okay.
Yeah, he's 26% Chinese.
Huh.
Yeah. Huh. We thought it was either indigenous or something else, but no, he's 26% Chinese from Central China.
Oh, we were way off.
We were way off.
We were. It's a good thing we didn't place any wagers on that.
No, I lost my ass.
This is why in Vegas we go to restaurants and shows. Okay, we will not be gambling in the casinos. We are not good at this. We are not good at it at all.
Somebody said once, well, your gambling money is entertainment money. I was like, I'm going to spend my entertainment money on entertainment. I don't want to set fire to money for fun. That's not.
Yeah. Oh, Courtney said he can start connecting now. Yeah, that's a cool part about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what he's looking. I've got to reach out to Amy Chen, who's a friend, and ask her, where does he start?
Yeah. And I think in the next few weeks my schedule is going to calm down, and I think Amy's is going to calm down, and then the three of us can come on here.
Oh, that would be great. That'll be great. But yeah, other than that, he's 74% white as fuck. Irish. It's all Irish. He laughed. He thought it was funny. It was nice to see him finally feel comfortable with doing it, because for so much of his life he's run away from his racial identity because his dad and all of that trauma. So it was really good to see. And 2% Vietnamese. I forgot that part.
2% Vietnamese. Okay. Now see, that's a good stew. See, we don't like milk pots around here, but that's a good stew. That kind of explains his.
Hang on.
The most unorthodox podcast you could ever watch. We have.
I'm doing mine. You know what it's gonna say?
Woo-hoo.
You know what it's gonna say? White as hell. It's gonna be all Irish. But I'm trying to work on dual citizenship, so it's gonna be say, "Who are you? Where are you? I can't see you."
I was joking with my dad one day, and I was like, "I should do a DNA test," and he was like, "What? So they can tell you that you black mixed with more black, mixed with attitude, mixed with Reese Cups and Mountain Dew? Go ahead." He was like, "Because I'm pretty sure one of your one of your ancestors has to be a bottle of Mountain Dew. Has to be." I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna leave you alone because funny, not funny. Okay, funny, not funny, but it is a little funny. This is why y'all will see me cap like the Mountain Dew that I drink during the day, and I'll just start like drowning myself in water. I have an aunt that literally drank herself to the grave with Mountain Dew.
Oh wow, okay,
it wouldn't stop. So like I'm beginning to think like, do we bleed like for real, blood, or if you cut me, is it gonna be neon green?" And odd, because y'all know I'm filled with odd facts. Mountain Dew was originally created to mix with moonshine. And I was like, "You better not mix nothing with my Mountain Dew, okay? You mix anything with my Mountain Dew, we fighting."
When I was in high school, the thing was to drink Southern Comfort and Dr. Pepper. Oh my God.
I had Southern Comfort once.
It's awful.
It's
so sweet.
One of my cousins used to sip it, and I was like, "What is that?" And this is when I learned to just stop asking certain of my cousins any questions. They were like, "Here, take it." And I was like, "You're drinking death. Like, are you a zombie?"
Yeah, death with sugar. It's sweet too. It's weird. Okay,
I am. Oh God. See this. Yeah. Well, y'all know that I can be very naive with certain things. I was very much so. Well into my 30s. This is after my mother passed away, before I knew that Boone's Farm even existed.
Oh.
And it was because I was out. This was somebody who started off as a client, and then we had a co-business together. And there was somebody else that he wanted to bring into the business because I wanted to step away, not because there was any bad blood at the time.
Just
y'all know, you're busy. And we were talking about different wines that we like. And she kept saying Boone's Farm, and he kept giving me a funny look. In my naive brain, I'm like, "Oh, well, let me write this down. I'll try it." He's like, "You better not." And this was before like you could get alcohol like widely at every store, whatever. And he was like, "Let me explain something to you, girl. You can buy that at the grocery store. You don't want that." He said, "You bougie and you're not drinking to get drunk." He's like, "You sniff that, you're gonna be drunk." I said,
Mad Dog's worse. MD is worse.
Yeah, and then I went to the grocery store, and then I was curious. So I was like, I'm gonna go down the aisle. I never go down because everybody was like, "Yeah, grocery store wine, like grocery store alcohol." And remember, this is the time before grocery stores had like the whole liquor.
Courtney.
And I went there. First of all, they had gallon plastic jugs of vodka. I was like, "Oh, you want to die going down this out." And then I saw and I was like, "Oh, that is Kool-Aid death in a bottle. What that is Jamestown bottled for you. Let's not do that." And I was like, "Miss Ma'am, you're a full-grown woman and you're still I understand making mistakes when you're young."
Yep.
But I'm like, "Damn, you are almost 50 And you talking to me like this is a great no.
You know how Mountain Dew is neon yellow? Okay, take that level of neon and make it red, and you've got Wild Irish Rose, which is in there.
Oh, and then I remember Alizé. And
Oh,
let me
yes.
say something. Monique, I love you, girl. Or should I? It ain't even Monique. It's her character, Nikki Parker. It's on site, bitch, because you made us thinking that shit was all highfalutin and shit. And my little naive bougie ass, I'm gonna make it. I don't know. There was like a whole summer and a half of a fall that I don't remember because one night, me and my cousins, you know, all of my fucked up stories start with me and my cousins. Yeah. Me and my cousins decided to make Alizé punch.
Oh,
don't ever do that, okay? Because we took every color, because you know, don't let them have a flavor. It got a color, okay? Just like Gatorade. If you come to me with the legal name,
it's red Kool-Aid or purple Kool-Aid.
Right. If you come to me with the legal name of Kool-Aid or Gatorade, I think you a serial killer. That's just what it is.
Yeah, no.
All of the colors of Alizé and put it in this massive punch bowl that my mother had. Where was my mother? Watching us do it. Okay. She knew that it was going to be a disaster. She wanted to call some people over to watch us do it too. And we drank it. We drank them drinks. We got drunk. And then the next thing we knew, it was Christmas. Okay. It was like the first day of summer. Next thing we knew, Christmas decorations was up. I don't know what we did. Evidently, all of us made it to work and school. How we did it, I don't fucking know. What did we learn? I don't fucking know. What did I do with the money between then and there? I don't fucking know.
When my son was 15, we had some friends over. We were doing a drunk weekend. I was not the best parent, y'all. Everybody needs to get over like this idea of thinking I was a great parent. I was not. We had a couple of friends over. We were doing the drunk ass fucking weekend. We had a handle of Crown. Well, also. We had a handle of Crown. We were drinking it. And he was like, I want to try it. And we were like, oh, this is our good liquor. You can't have this. Here, have this. And we handed him a bottle of triple sec. Like really shitty triple sec.
Oh no. My youngest daughter one time was like, why are you always
We
drinking?
drank it.
She was like, why are you always drinking wine at the house? But if we go to a restaurant, like you'll get a martini. And I was like, because usually if we go to a restaurant, your grandfather is paying. So yeah, I'm gonna get a martini there. It's on his dime. I was broke back then. Okay. We didn't have the business starting up yet. I was in a 9-to-5 that was paying me shitty because I was still a college student. And they knew I really couldn't fight because I was a college student with kids. So did they take full advantage? Yeah. Was there anything I could really do about it? No, because I couldn't afford to go without a check.
That's the lock. That's all you can do.
And she was asking about the wine, and I was like, you know, you want to taste? And I just looking back, I was like, you know what? Who left me in charge?
Yeah.
Because
I look back at
gave them like chocolate cake or brownies for breakfast. Ridiculous.
My kids will tell me you were such a great mom, and I'm like, look how we turned out. I was like, y'all turned out good in spite of me. I was not always a good mom. I always loved you. I always let you be you. But yeah, he ended up drinking that bottle of triple sec, got drunk, threw up on the floor. And I was like, well, he won't ask to drink again. He's going to feel like shit. No, he woke up the next morning feeling great. We're all the adults are like, you know.
My daughter that tells everybody that she is the least like me is the most like me. Okay. The most. Okay. That heifer is always elevated with a bottle of wine. And y'all know how she convinced me to help her damn move when she moved from one location to another in Chicago? She said, we'll do charcuterie and wine. My goofy ass was like, oh, somebody else is buying wine and doing the charcuterie report. I didn't get paid, y'all. You know she worked me to the bone for days.
You ate and got wine.
And she threw a few gummies in there. And I'm like, first of all, I said, are you high?
See, I don't drink anymore because I don't do it well. I drink until I fall over and then I make really stupid decisions. So I just don't anymore.
Yeah, see, I started off, and it's funny because I finally confessed this to my dad because I was like, Dad, you always said that you kept track of everything in the house. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I
said,
thought
"No,
I
look,"
did
said,
too,
'cause
and I
I
did
said,
not.
that bar that you had, that liquor cabinet, I said, you didn't know the levels of nothing. I said, I used to make Jack Daniels milkshakes. My brothers was like, you put Jack Daniels with the milk. And that was the
Oh,
only way I could get it out the house. And I said, y'all was stressing the hell out of me. He was like, you was drinking in high school. Let me explain something to you. Y'all was stressing the hell out of me. Okay. It was either me turn into a crazy prepubescent white boy and eliminate all of y'all from the house, or have a little drinky drink. Which one would you want? I said, I was high as hell and I was drunk as fuck. I said, y'all never knew what was in my little cup. Y'all just was like, she's making an awful lot of milkshakes. And I was with your Jack.
when I was in high school, Sonic was around in small towns. It's not the Sonic y'all know now, okay? It's not the big red button. It's not fancy. I mean, it was like the speaker falling off of the sign. And they were nasty. They were trashy. But we would go there and get a drink, a big drink, and pour half of it out and fill it with vodka or whatever we could get and go drive around town. Because DUIs weren't a big deal then. And I look back and I'm like, how more of us didn't die? I had a cop pull me over one night at 3:00 in the morning and asked me how drunk I was. I had 2 passed out friends in the car, and I said, way drunker than I should be. He said, I'll follow you home.
Mhm.
The fuck? Yeah, but yeah, no, I got mono from Boone's Farm.
See, I have mono, and I have mono that basically, first of all, my 10th grade high school teachers, minus Mrs. Lane and Mrs. Snow, love you girls to this day. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Obviously, I still graduated on time and it didn't affect my GPA, but I ended up in the hospital for 3 months due to mono.
Yeah, I'm taking my supplement.
Yeah, everybody says that mono is a kissing disease, but see, no, my fast ass hoe ass cousin. I love you, girl, but you know you was a hoe. You know you was a hoe. Glad you done reformed yourself, but you was busting it down. Okay, got mono. Mono is airborne. She came home because we was always all up in each other's faces. I got it 10 times worse than her, and because nobody wanted to believe that I had mono because kissing disease, and they're like, she ain't gonna kiss nobody, and she ain't gonna let nobody kiss her. So how she get this? And the doctor was like, she got mono. Let's give her some medicine, and she might die. Like, y'all want that? Like,
I ended up with mono, strep throat, and tonsillitis at the same time, and they ended up having to put a breathing tube in because my throat swelled up. Yeah, it was one of the sickest I've ever been.
Like, wear mask and isolate. I was kind of laughing because I'm like, I had to isolate in my own house. And honestly, the only person who really came and spent one-on-one time with me was my papa. He would throw on a mask and come up. We go over my schoolwork. We talk. We do everything else. Everybody else just stayed out. And I had set times to go to the bathroom, take a shower, everything else, not to infect the rest of the family. And walking around with the mask, I'm like, well, I had to do that anyway because I'm sickly as shit. So when they were like,
I don't understand people's big ass fucking problem with masks. I don't.
When they were like, for COVID, they were like, you have to quarantine. And I was like, in the house, in the whole house?
I get the whole house.
Y'all complaining about being in your whole house. And I was confined to one room. Now, fortunately, I had my own phone line. Yes, I know y'all gonna say I was bougie again. We know this. We established this a couple months back. Y'all ain't got to keep saying that every episode. So, I would sit there and just call people randomly. Now, unfortunately,
they put me on steroids.
They put me on steroids too. But unfortunately for me, as I was calling some family members I didn't really talk to, and then after I got better, they thought we was gonna hang out. No, bitch. We was sickness friends. I'm better. We not. No.
I'm back with my real friends. What are you doing?
I'm like, when I go back to the hospital, I'll call you again.
That summer that I got mono from a Boone's Farm bottle, I also went in our school. The guys made a list every year, the biggest prudes and the biggest whores. I went from the top of the prude list to the top of the whore list in 3 months.
I was on the list of, we don't know what and I saw the list and it literally said, we don't know what the fuck she is. And I was like, what? Because there were rumors that everybody had sex with me, but nobody could prove it. And nobody, because people were like, well, and they all said that it was at my house. So people were like, well, what's the inside of her bedroom look like? Now, there were female friends of mine that had been in my room. Here is the unique feature about my high school bedroom. Only 2 walls had wallpaper on it. And the wallpaper was like cutesy pink animals and stuff like that I liked, but we only did 2 because my mom was like, you cannot have a room that looks like a child's room. People are going to think something's wrong with you. And I was like, okay, touche, but I like it. So the other 2 walls were white. My closets were basically, they looked like they were the size of like additional rooms, but you know, like the castle style doors, that's what they were shaped like.
Okay.
And one of my closets had been converted into like a mini library for me. So with these aspects, nobody could say anything about it. So when these girls would come thinking, oh, we're going to jump her because she slept with my boyfriend. And I'm like, why don't you come see my bedroom? And the fact of you have to go through the entire house to get to my bedroom, who was sneaking in and out?
Yeah.
The only windows out of my room face the front of the house. And you would have to be 7 feet to get out and not hurt yourself. And then they were like, oh, so she's not sleeping with these guys. No. And since nobody to this day could guess my crush, who was a girl.
Yeah, Taz was bougie as shit.
I'm fancy as hell. But yes, I had 2 closets, one on either side of the, okay, you know what?
I had a balcony.
But so they were like, what the fuck? Like they couldn't get a read on me. And I didn't have a crush. I wasn't. And there were times that they were like, oh, you're wearing this to get attention. I don't want no attention from none of y'all. I wore this because it's comfortable for me.
See that
sure.
I moved in when we moved to the town that I went to high school in. We moved in before my 8th grade year, and the newspaper, I mean, this newspaper literally used to write up so-and-so's grandkids came to visit. And they wrote up a 3-page spread about my family moving to town with pictures of us by the lake and our house, all this shit. It was very weird, because my dad bought the car dealership, right? And they asked me something, and I was still mad because my parents made me sell my horses. And so I think they said, what do you like? And I said, horses, horses, horses. Any wonder why the people made fun of me?
Yeah,
because not going to be escaping that.
Yeah, because like I would get gifts that I never asked for. I never wanted it. I know this is going to sound weird, but I never wanted a TV in my room. Even now, I'm not a big fan of TVs in the bedroom. There are some instances where I'm happy that I do have a TV in the bedroom because there are days, especially with my leg and this new round that I'm going through, sometimes I can't get out of the bed. So when I'm in the house by myself, I'm not just in silence. And we all know I do not need to get in tune with my intrusive thoughts. But my parents had like again today. TV, and I had cable and all this other stuff. And my brothers used to come in and watch my TV. And people were like, aren't you bothered by this? I said, sometimes if I need them to turn it down, they want to be ridiculous. I said, but other than that, no. Like I had a whole stereo system. There were only 2 albums that I wanted to listen to. And to this day, my brother still makes fun of me for listening to them, but he has them all on Apple Music because Snoopy had an album. Yes, I listened to that all the way through college. Don't judge me. It was a Snoopy Christmas album, and I
remember that.
Not during Christmas season. And the other one was Alvin and the Chipmunks. Those was my jams. Now, did I like other music and other genres? Absolutely. But there was something very relaxing about those 2 albums on literal vinyl that I could have the worst day ever. I could put that on and listen to it, and
That's cool. That's cool.
My parents did buy me one thing and all the accessories that made me look at them kind of funny. And I was like, what you got to say? Now, everybody knows I'm 47. Back in the day, we had something called Get in Shape Girl. Why were they giving us workout equipment and exercise routines as toys as young girls? I don't know. Now, I just looked at the box and saw that it was pink and white, and I was all excited on Christmas until I opened it up and was like, what the fuck are y'all trying to tell me?
You and my youngest, you and Megan. The pink and white, everything.
Yeah, and at some elementary schools, they even had programs where they would track the girls' weights and I'm like, what is wrong with it? When we talk about Gen X, and this is globally, I need y'all to stop thinking that we're bragging. We're not bragging, okay? We're crying out for fucking help.
Yeah. The video I made where I said we're not tough, we're emotionally unavailable, right? and it wasn't glorious. It was a hellscape with a whole lot of trauma wounds that we haven't healed. I mean it. We're not tough.
We didn't have a choice. We were the generation where our parents would just leave us at home and be like, "Don't answer the door." Like that. What?
Yeah.
Not go over any fire drills, not go over any nothing. Okay. If you burn up, you burn up. At 10 years old, you could cook a full Thanksgiving meal.
I started cooking full dinners for my family at 8 years old.
Yeah, and then by 12, we could drive because we were
commercials.
Drunk ass parents home.
There were commercials that reminded our parents to hug us.
To make sure we were in the house.
Yeah.
And then, oh, don't get me started on the anti-drug programs.
Oh my God.
Teach us where to get the good drugs from and how to properly negotiate for them.
Mom's pharmaceutical cabinet.
And Mothers Against Drug Driving gave the fuck up when we came of age to drink. Them bitches said, "Fuck this shit. This too much. Let them drink. I don't give a fuck anymore." Okay. Because MAD used to be everywhere. Okay.
Oh, it did.
When we turned 21, they was like, we did the you know what? We good. Y'all do what you want. You want me to buy the liquor for you? I mean, I understand.
There was when I was up until I was 7th grade, we lived in Austin, and there was an organization called PADAP, Palmer Drug Abuse Program, I think is what it was. But anyway, they bring in these big glass cases with all the types of drugs, like actual samples. And then they got confused when somebody hit them over the head.
Well, it's just like at my high school, they had a basically don't get pregnant club, okay? And they had people coming while we were in biology class to come talk to us to see if we wanted to join the club. Now, I have a friend, okay? And we were friends just because of the proximity that we lived to one another. We rode the same bus, okay? We really didn't have anything in common. She was sitting there, and this is the day we found out she was pregnant. She was like, "Hey, can I join?" And the lady was like, "Why wouldn't you be able to join?" She was like, "Because I'm pregnant." "Oh no, you can't join." I'm like, "That's who we need to see. Because that's how to make the sex feel good. Do you not realize what you're telling us? We all about to be knocked up because you're making this seem wonderful. And the one before you was telling us where to get the drugs from that makes it seem like that's gonna make it feel even more wonderful." The only person we listened to was Smokey the Bear. Everybody else was giving us tricks and tips on how to get around stuff.
You are, Jay. It was fucked up. It really was.
Yes, you are, because they would leave us places, and then we had to find a phone booth. And most of the time, they didn't give us change or even money. So we would have to call collect. And when they would ask for your name, you had to learn how to talk like Twister. Okay. You needed to give your name and a whole message in like 3.2 seconds. Okay. That's why when TikTok was still at 60 seconds, we wasn't bothered by it. We could get all the information out then. Because we would sit there and be like, "Hey, this is Taz. Tell Mom she left me over at the Walmart. Please come back and get me. I'm going to be standing over here by this dumpster. And it says 232 on there." Because they wasn't going to let us go through. And then they would sit there, put all the groceries away, go take a shit, make another pot of coffee, then come back and get us. And it'd be like, "You better, it's a good thing you didn't get snatched." What the fuck you think I'm trying to get you?
Okay. Six Flags, the amusement park, had to start telling parents that a season pass is not a daycare for your 8-year-old. I mean, come on now.
And the fact that they put age and height requirements on stuff is because of our fucking parents. For years, my parents would take my teeny tiny ass to Cedar Point. I'm just now to the height where I can get on rides. Do you know my brothers still take bets that there's certain rides my ass still can't get on, and I just change the shoes that I fucking put on so that I can prove them wrong? It no longer exists at Kings Island. It was called the King Cobra. It was over it, like it came over you and your feet kind of dangled. First of all, who the fuck looked at me? Okay, look at me, barely pressing 100 pounds. It was like, "Yeah, we gonna just let her go on there." First of all, it's a good thing that there was a literal retired NFL player next to me, and his body weight pushed over and kept me in. Because other than that, a girl would have went off into fucking orbit. And do you know what the boomers in front and in back of me said? Oh, it wouldn't have been that bad. Just rub some dirt on it. Come here, Barney Fife. Ooh.
There was a roller coaster at Six Flags, Texas, called Big Ben. They've since taken it down because numerous people got killed and hurt on it. But it was a roller coaster back before we started having all the better harnesses. It was just a bar across your lap, right? And I almost went flying out of that once. That shit was terrifying.
Well, it's just like the Beast at Kings Island. You know what? I got a lot of trauma from Kings Island. I don't know why I keep going. Oh, yeah. Family shit. I gotta stop answering the phone for them.
Yeah.
It's the oldest wooden roller coaster. It still has just the bar, and everybody always like, go with us, go to hell. Go
I know the wooden roller coasters, even before my back was as bad as it is now, the vibration, I can't. My mom used to drop me off at the tennis country club when I was like 7, 8 to spend the whole day. I didn't play tennis.
Okay. Another one from the volume of Yes, Taz is bougie as hell. I have 2 younger cousins. They were in elementary school. They wrote letters to get out of school. Whose name did they use? Mine. Why? I don't know, because I got the wrong name family. I'm like, the fuck you, and y'all spelled it right. They skipped school, signed themselves into the country club to go swimming all day. Nobody had an eye. And I'm like, these little smurfette looking bitches just... What got them busted is that they was ordering, they didn't realize that my account had a limit on it because I was still in high school. So because, you know, my parents had to pay for whatever I charged to the, like, it had a limit. Yeah. First of all, I'm like, what? It was a $200 limit. What the hell was y'all doing?
I mean, well, hell, that could also be just like 3 club sandwiches and a Coke.
I was like,
places were expensive.
I was like, what did y'all, or what? I was like, y'all left school with 3 hours left. Y'all couldn't spread $200 over 3 hours? Could y'all be smarter next time? Could just be like, I wasn't even gonna snitch on you. I wasn't gonna say nothing. You got yourself busted.
That same damn country club is why I started shaving my legs, because I was up there. My brother played tennis. My brother played competitive tennis. My brother, anything white, sailing, skiing, tennis, all those things, that's him. Golf. But anyway, so I was up there spending the day, and one of his friends made fun of me for having hairy legs. So I went home, begged Mom, please let me shave. Please let me shave. I want to shave. She finally did. She handed me her drop-in single razor.
Mm-hmm.
And I came out proud as fuck into the yard with toilet paper from my ankle to my hip. I still have scars from that. That was like 1974.
Oh yeah, my mom tried to just give me like disposable razors. Problem was she did this in front of my granny. Now my mom knew, like, I'm gonna write out instructions for you. I'm gonna let you go in the bathroom, and if you need help, let me go in, because she knew I was jittery. My granny bust out laughing and was like, hold up. We're not going to give her a disposable. She's like, we're not going to give her anything where she can pop a blade out.
So you got flicker? Did you get the flicker one with the wire around it?
Yeah, so that's the one. My granny was like, come to the store with me. And my granny was like, screw writing the instructions down. She's like, I know you don't want nobody to see your naughty parts. She was like, nope. Go put your swimsuit on, and this is what you're going to do. And she was like, this is how you're going to clean up all the areas for, and I was like, that makes sense to put my swimsuit on to do this. Okay. And she went through it with me step by step. My mother was outside muttering. She was like, the disposable was fine when I learned. And my mother and my granny was like, you weren't scary. You don't know what's going on in her brain. She just sits there. We don't know, but we know we're not giving her access to anything that's sharp. And I was like, yeah, I could see that. Okay.
Yeah, I cut my legs up so bad. It was so bad. I wanted one of the flicker ones. I asked, I begged.
Yeah, I only got one just because my granny was there. If my granny wasn't there, ain't no telling what would have happened. Because even with instructions, I would have lost patience. I know me. I would have lost patience. Because even at this right big old age of mine now, I can't tell y'all how many times. Because first of all, my leg hair does not grow in evenly. For those of y'all that don't know, there's a lot of metal in my leg. So it gets patchy. And I'll see like a long patch and I will dry shave.
Yeah.
which is the worst
I
thing to
used to.
do.
I don't shave
I
anymore.
put myself up, and I was like, there was one time I was sitting in church, looked down because one of the deacons looked at me and was like, "What?" And I looked, scab on my leg from dry shaving because I don't have patience for it because I don't really care.
Yeah, see, I don't shave anymore. Although I did tell Mr. Pam I want one of the home laser things at some point. Oh, have you seen my latest thing? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
You know the Compound W skin tag remover freezer thing?
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, see, that's always okay. I've had a fear of that because not the current commercials, because some of y'all are going to be thinking about the current commercial. No. When they first started putting out commercials, that shit was barbaric.
The liquid was like sizzle and smoke.
And this is not a good marketing technique. Like, what is going on?
I remember those. They drop it and go,
yeah. I'm like,
smoke.
I've had an inherent fear of it. And I've even had people say, oh, just get this for this or that.
And this is just the freezer kind. This isn't the chemical kind like that. This is just, liquid nitrogen that you put on a pad and then tap. But it made blisters. Everything made a blister. And I didn't hold it on there as long as the directions said to.
See, all of that see, there are a lot of products that as a child, those commercials have stuck with me.
I'd forgotten about that because y'all literally, it was a little glass bottle with not even a dropper. It was like a glass rod that went in it and you lift it up and a drop would fall off the end of it. And the commercial would be like somebody with a wart right here and they drop it and it would literally sizzle and smoke like it was on a grill.
And then they just put this little pet bandage over it and was like, that is not okay, people. Just like years, there was like 4 years I would not drink milk because the only way they would sell milk was the fact that they was putting our missing pictures on the side.
Oh yeah.
Missing kids. Like, what is wrong with you? The trauma, I'm telling you.
Yeah, see, my thing, Courtney, is I think I'm going to end up with brown scars for quite a while now. I mean, they'll eventually fade. My scars tend to, but it's going to be ugly for a little bit. But whatever. Whom I'm impressing. But that's why I've been wearing more collars lately.
You got all the snacks.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Courtney mentioned, remember at school, the little milk cartons? They would put the missing kids on those in front of other kids.
I'm like, looking for little missing Barry. I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't even leave the block on my own. I can't look for Barry. Okay. No, because I feel like whoever took Barry, they definitely gonna take me. No, I am pocket sized. Okay. As a full-fledged freshman in high school, I still look like I was in like 6th grade. Fuck that shit. I'm not looking
my
for
oldest
Barry.
daughter. I haven't heard pocket sized or fun sized in a while. That's my oldest daughter. She's tiny.
Like I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing none of that. And then all of a sudden we got the SVU van. And then I'm all paranoid looking at every white van. Like, please don't kidnap me. Okay. It takes a lot to sustain me. And I'm gonna complain. And don't
there
let
was somebody out, and I believe it was either San Francisco or LA, that had a white van with looked like bloody kids' handprints all over it, and it said free candy like in crayon on the side, and they kept getting pulled over. They were gonna take it out to Burning Man. It's like, why are you doing that ahead of time? That's awful. That's awful.
People, and just like you see all these white women that are like, Mom, I was just with my littles at Walmart and we were almost trafficked. You are not Gen X. You don't understand what it means to be trafficked. They thought you was shoplifting, Sarah.
Yeah.
That's what they was following you around. They thought you was shoplifting. They wasn't trying to get you because they're not going to follow you around everywhere, okay? Everybody that ever got kidnapped, nobody saw nobody following them, okay? That bitch just went around the corner and never came back around, okay?
Oh my God. And can white women stop with the piece of masking tape on your wiper, with the zip ties, with the bottle against your tire, all this shit? Nobody's out there mass kidnapping white women. And you're making people so paranoid that they're not seeing the real threats. Oh, it drives me crazy.
And they're not, first of all, they're not going to be buying stuff that's easily traceable back to them. It's all these zip ties, and it's going to be noticeable that you're only buying tape. You're only buying zip ties. And the only other time they saw you in the hardware department was
when mine were young.
Tape.
We had an email list at work for parents that we talked about different stuff. And one girl sent out this big, oh my God, major threat. A child stuck themselves with a syringe in a Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. And now they're HIV positive. And I got so pissed off. I was like, no, that's a lie. And parenting is hard enough and scary enough without that shit. Stop.
And given that we got parents cooking their kids in cars and on boats now,
right?
There are parents that'll be like, "What's the location?" so they can go drop off little Timmy and Tina just for them to get poked. Let's be real.
Yep. Yep. Ugh. Drives me crazy.
Oh, speaking of kids, can y'all teach y'all kids about respecting personal space? Because if I leave this house one more time and a little crumb snatcher, okay, a crotch goblin comes bumping up against me again, I'm gonna forget that somebody loves them. I'm gonna send them up to orbit, okay? I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be touched. I don't care how old you are. And the fact that I have been in situations where the parents have sat there and watched these kids continuously bump me, but then want to sit out there and nuck if you say something to your child. Honey, I will slap you and Lil Don Jr. I don't give a fuck.
And, here's the thing. I don't want my kids touching me half the time when they were little. Why would I let them touch people we don't know? Fucking stop it. That's so... But it's always the adults.
Germs I don't know about. And it's the summertime. And a lot of y'all think that taking y'all kids to the pool or the creek is a damn bad. I don't need that germs.
Oh, no.
Down with Ebola, impetigo, or I turn into a fucking zombie. I'm coming to
you saw that lady with the impetigo cup?
Lord,
what the fuck is wrong with people? What the fuck? And here, my youngest had a friend who showed up one day in the summer and said, "Oh, I gotta wash my hair." I was like, "Why is your hair green?" I didn't know, because we bathe when you're done in the pool, right? So I never knew that chlorine turned blonde hair green. I did not know that. This kid who has a swimming pool in their backyard comes down and has not showered in like 2 weeks, but has been in the pool and has green hair. I'm like, get the fuck out of my house. Go home. Take a bath. It's so cool.
The first time I encountered that, I hadn't even gotten in the pool yet. And I heard them talking. I was like, yeah, make sure you take a dip before you go to bed. And I was like, y'all. And I was like, oh, you have the kids swim and then take a shower, to tire them
nice and tired, yeah.
No, that's their nightly bath.
Oh, no, fuck that.
I didn't even go over and look in the pool. I was invited to a little cookout. And I was just like, And they were like, you hungry? Not for anything y'all serving here. Because if you don't wash your ass, I know you didn't wash nothing that you cooking, and I know you didn't wash no hands. There's a Hardee's down the street. I will be hitting that soon as my ride comes back. And I looked at my ride like, what's going on here?
Right, Jay? It's so gross. I ordered one of those rechargeable power brushes, that you see all over the TikTok shop and stuff now. And I got it to do my countertops and my floors and my bathtubs. Ew.
Yeah, see, I had one of those for a couple, pre-COVID, but I got one because Clorox came out with a set like that.
Oh, okay.
And I got it when it first came out because, being in a smaller city, they just put out a few testers and they'll mark it down real low like the first time it comes out. So I grabbed it. And I'm like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't. And trust me, I was like, okay, I thought I was doing a good job cleaning.
Yeah.
When I tell you I started second guessing every nook and cranny in this place, because I'm the type of person where each day I dedicate time to.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, Sabrina, though. But what they're saying is that like a piece of blue painter's tape on the rear wiper is a sign somebody's targeting you. No, it's the sign that most people have blue painter's tape, and when that wiper breaks, that's what they use to hold it on. Right.
Or if you like me and you drive a very, very common car in your area because it's cost effective and it's good on gas, I mark my car in odd ways from the inside. So I know it's my car because I've seen too many people say that they've accidentally gotten into somebody's car, and people are like,
I
well,
did that not long ago. I had never done it in my life, but I did. And I drive a bright blue small SUV, bright blue. But there was another one, and I sat down and I went, I don't keep changing my shit. That's not my car.
I recently clicked to unlock my door. My car clicked, and another car clicked at the same time.
Yeah.
And I looked around, and there was nobody else. And I was like, this is how it's happening. And I'm like, you can only have some numbers.
I saw one of those big warning videos the other day that literally said, if there is a stick on your windshield by your wiper, you're being targeted. I'm like, or you parked under a tree.
Right.
You know, now it's if there's a water bottle next to the tire of your car, somebody's going to steal you. And it's like, y'all, now what happens when you don't see a sign? When you don't see anything on your car and you let your guard down? Stop.
Here's the thing. There are far too many people that are way too comfortable anyway, getting in and out of their cars and putting themselves where they're not looking around, going to their car and then finally fumbling for their keys. If they're going to take you, they're going to take you that way. Because just like I've never understood, and before y'all criticize me, this is something that happened to one of my brothers. Somebody is going to try to carjack you with a knife and you're already in the car. Turn the car on and back up.
Yeah.
And people like, oh, I don't want to commit a crime. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get stabbed. I'll quicker run your feet over.
Yeah.
Because if you're threatening me, you're not behind the car. You're not in front of the car. You're at my window. I'm pulling off.
I taught my daughters at a fairly young age how to pull out an eyeball. Right? It's like I don't care how you come home, but come home. And you do whatever it is you have to do to survive. And if that hurts or kills somebody else, I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, I don't care. I don't care. And I have a lot of pent up aggression. I know it doesn't always show, but I do.
Oh, it does, Cass.
and one day it's all going to erupt. And my fear is my intellect plus this aggression.
Who's Beatrix Kiddo?
I will be the next Jack the Ripper. Because y'all ain't gonna catch me, because I'll be so cool, calm afterwards. And sorry, not sorry, I still think that Jack the Ripper was never caught because Jack the Ripper wasn't a guy.
I've had that thought.
Because I'm like,
who is Beatrix Kiddo?
Pam is Beatrix Kiddo. Wait, who?
Jay said Pam is Beatrix Kiddo. I want to know who that is.
Who is? That's what I'm trying to. Who is that? We supposed to be wrapping up. Now you got to give us a history lesson, Jay.
Hey, Jay, did you know that's my dad? That was my dad's name. Oh,
the Bride from Kid. Oh, yeah. Look at, and we've talked about that movie before.
One of the few movies I know, and I didn't.
Yeah. Duh. Okay, so we.
I raised my kids to come home. Doesn't matter how. Just come home. And I gave him the tools to come home. Yeah. Hopefully, right? I guess we ought to wrap up.
Yeah, because we're doing final thoughts. How did we not know? As much as we've talked about that movie, look, we might need to do a viewing party on that one and refresh our memories.
All right.
I think I have a copy of it.
I do. Final thoughts for me. Look, heading into this election season, if your moral line is Palestine and you can't vote for somebody that is not going to be pro-Palestine, not just going to be but they need to, then you draw your moral line for your vote where you draw the moral line for your vote. And it's understandable. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you're saying, I'm going to do something else because Kamala isn't pro-Palestine, please show me where pro-Palestine is on the table for any candidate that's viable. Make sure that before you say you're against something, you understand why you're against it, because frequently it's not what you think it is. It's not all of the reasons and justifications you've created in your head. That's it.
My final thoughts, 2 things. 1, if you let this country go to shit, Black women have collectively already said, we're not coming to fix it. We will sit back and watch you attempt to rebuild it, but we're not going to fix it. 2, you cannot help anything in another country if you're falling apart within yours. If you don't fight for universal health care, who are you going to help when you're sickly? If you don't fight for proper mental health coverage, who are you going to help when you're having a meltdown? If you don't fight for other things, how are you going to help? If we don't start getting caps on things and make things national, who are you going to help? Because if the educational system shuts down, we're all screwed. Who cares about the next round of lawyers? We won't have a society smart enough to even litigate one another. Who's going to be your next round of caretakers? Let us not expand the Dark Ages to more than European Americans. Let us finally learn from history and do better. And stop all this. We can't. They said that when Joe chose Kamala in the first place. They said that when Shirley Chisholm walked and paved the road so we could have Madam Harris today. They said that when it came time for Obama. They said that regarding Ketanji Brown Jackson. They said that when it came to Thurgood Marshall. They keep saying that because they think if they say it, you'll believe it and you'll give up.
Irina made a quick video. I'm going to input this today. And it says, do you know why white supremacy is so successful? Because it doesn't take no for an answer.
That part.
And that's exactly, it's instead of, yeah.
But as always, thank you all for joining us.
Love y'all.
Love y'all. And okay, I forget how many weeks away it is, but the DNC will be coming up.
Oh, that's right. It's week after next, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll be discussing the DNC because on Thursday night, that's when
yeah, we'll probably watch it live. We can do it live.
Yeah, and all of that. She'll be giving speeches. We'll do that. No, I didn't do the RNC because
why?
Exactly. And a lot of crap that Trump was pulling definitely would have broken the new rules over here on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, the RNC is just simply whatever that guy said. That's their whole platform, whatever Trump says.
Exactamundo. So,
love you.
And this weekend, I'm supposed to be reviewing some stuff down here, and people have asked me to do it. But I suck at recording while I'm reviewing. So I'm doing my best.
I want to say me and Irina and Kakai are going to do a live at some point. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. My days have gotten messed up because I went to the doctor and that ended up losing a whole day.
Yeah, my day I had 2 days back to back doing that. And then yesterday I was down for the count because my leg locked up, and then I had a fever for part of the day.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Well, yeah. She is a wild card, but the shaman and shenanigans, her tea does break fevers.
Yeah, there you go.
And half the day, nope, I do not recall, but that usually how it. So like I said, I may remember to record for y'all. I may not. I'm trying to get better when people ask me to do these reviews, but I get caught up in the moment. So bear with me. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. See y'all later.
Bye. Bye.